Hey everyone, it is August 13th. It's early, somewhat early, 6:40. So I'm going to cut the video now for my next update for the growing season 2018. I'm going to go over kind of where we're at today and then have a lot of clips of earlier days where I was doing stuff. So I'll show the clips starting probably 5 minutes in or something like that. But this is my training. Pepper, the BTR Scorpion, still looking good after that drought that you'll see soon. The leaves dropped, and it did it before, the 2 days before the one you're going to see where the leaves dropped even further, where they it was just really dry and it chewed down. I thought it was dead, but there's the trunk. There, it's about almost 2 fingers wide. So it looks good. The foliage looks really cool. There was some big flowers on it, but it's in the hundreds. It's been in the hundreds for weeks. Literally for weeks. So let me show you the rest. These didn't really grow. The sugar rush just wants to have flowers. So all it wants to do is just focus on flowers. Or actually, that's ahi mango. I'm sorry. This is a sugar rush. I haven't killed this one off because it's so close to this one. I might just chop the trunk, but it's already seeded. I took seeds from another one that I like better instead, and I'm growing those out upstairs right now for collard greens. This sugar rush is just wanting to focus on flowers. This one has always looked bad. It still does. The CGN got beat. Same thing with this one. Got beat from the storm. There were some branches on it that were like this long, but the storm weakened them, and so they just laid down. There was like 4 of them, so I cut those off. I didn't cut really anything off of this one, but it's just it was behind the kale forever, so it got only just sun from like here to there at first, just sun from here to here, because it was in back of the kale. Now it's getting more full sun, but it's just real scraggly. So you see it grew up straight up as high as it could grow, and it's just not very. So this one gets beat by the storm. This one doesn't look too good. That one also is getting beat by the storms. The storm. There's been questions from my kids. Where's this toy? Where's that toy? Comes out the storm took it. I said the winds were pretty harsh from the east, coming south, coming west. This is looking good. This is my MA Vortex, and then this is a Scotch Bonnet. This is the one that always looked bad, but then when it rains, it looks good again. And then when it goes back to hose water, it looks like crap again. So it's starting to grow again, finally, because of the rains. But these are the trees I'm growing. Blue Palo Verde trees. Started from seed. Now they're super hot. Doing all kind of bad. And then it's been getting rain too. And this is like just a plot of I'm growing in the front. So these are the Pasilla Bacchio chilies. Here's one where I just took off a big old huge tomato hornworm about this long off of it yesterday. So it ate this one basically. I'm thinking one also got here too. So you can see all the foliage that's missing on the tops, but I never saw it. So there's some more missing here. I never saw the worm. So probably guys either it's still there or it got away. The big black habanero I pulled. It was the strongest one, but it got yellow, or more and more yellow. Worse than this one. These leaves are like all curled up. I'm wondering if I over fertilized this one. I just took off the flowers off of my Thai basil. These look severely malnourished. I fertilized the crap out of them too, like really bad. But they're in all these sweet potatoes. So the sweet potatoes are in the same bed, right? They don't need as much. I don't think sweet potatoes need as much nourishment as peppers do. It's like a sugar rush or something like that. This is a ahi mango. Took like 8-9 peppers off of it recently. MA Vortex back there. And I gotta constantly move this sweet potato out of the way, because I should eat some of these leaves and stew them up or do something with them. This is a Kabaka Raksa. I took some peppers off. They were kind of hot. They tasted okay. They weren't bad. They were real small, so they were like this, elongated, about maybe this big. My Twilight Numex, and then this one as well as one down there. My fake Aleppo's CGN 21.5, and then some more water to collect from the condensation. Free chlorine, free water. Banana just sprouted a new leaf here. Bohemian goat and another black hob. And the black hob here in the pot, different type of soil because it's basically potting soil. It's doing the yellowing too, so. Not as bad as the other bigger, much larger one did, but, and this is the branch that broke off here. So, but those are all doing okay. And I got some more out back. These are 2 moringa trees I got from the nursery. Late in the season, I know, but I don't know how I'm going to overwinter them indoors because they grow really fast and really big. So, but I'll figure something out. Okay, there's remnants of the fallen tree from the storm. That's also hammered a lot of plants, but also watered them with rainwater. So remember when I said in an earlier video there were mushrooms in this, and I was like, oh, they're mushrooms, is a good sign, because I heard that in videos as well. Mushrooms is a good sign, it means your soil's good. Well, what I'm finding out, especially from watching Gary's gardening channel, is that, and just thinking too, and also saying this in real life in my own yard, is that mushrooms are a sign that there's food for mushrooms, and that there's mushroom spores to germinate in the food and eat it and grow. Doesn't necessarily mean your soil's good. It just means there's mushroom spores, and the mushrooms have food to consume so that they can fruit, and that the weather is good for them to fruit. That way you see the mushroom fruit on top, you see the buttons. That's all that means. It doesn't mean your soil's good. But I'm thinking this soil is going to be good for either this winter or next spring. I'm going to top it off with something that's good, and then I'm going to plant it again, because I'm believing that everything down here, because it's been down here for like 9 months, it's ready. So I'm going to plant in this again, but it's going to be a while from now. This is my other super hot here, right under a tree that got busted up. I showed you. I'm going to show you soon. You'll see the video footage of it, but it escaped. It escaped. It's still kind of small though. It doesn't grow that fast. And this is a soil mix I used, half compost, half volcanic sand for that. But and then the tree also, you'll see soon, took this one down. Most of it's gone. And a little bit of this one. So these 2 beds are still good. There's that one that I built. That's good. I'm watering it and making sure it's watered every couple weeks or every week, depending. This bed I mulched. I'm going to put the shade cloth over. So like a 6 by 20 or something like that. And then with some of the twigs, I made this bed. I got to screw these in. And then I'm going to bring the hose around the back. And it's going to come out this way to use the hose. I might put a splitter on it too. And then just fill all this in with an extra thing of compost. And then I found bags at some tractor company, bags of peat moss, 2.2 cubic feet for like $10. So Summer Winds Nursery selling 2x2 cubic feet for like 40 bucks. Shame on you, Summer Winds. But they still got good stuff there too, so I still go to Summer Winds. But yeah, so I'm gonna build this. It's gonna be getting afternoon shade here. So storm also knocked over my air layer tree, my ficus, and I hear that when you disturb the roots of ficus, the leaves go all kind of crazy. But these are the same roots that invade so fierce everything around them. So if I planted this here 20 years down the road, all this would buckle. All this would buckle, and they would steal nutrients from like every other plant that's growing around it. But if you move these roots for some reason, this monster gets hurt. Look at it. So, but my compost that I'm going to use for that bed I just showed you. That's potting soil that I use, and I try to plant in it, but it's just way too much compost. It's basically just compost and perlite. So I'm going to mix that with the peat moss, because peat moss it's not really adding organic to the soil. I would do sandy loam, but I want to stay as cheap as possible. I don't own the place, and I would really buy like a cubic yard of that and then have it trucked over here, or truck it myself. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to use peat moss, because the peat moss and then the perlite are basically that adding organics that are going to decompose and heat up the soil layer, heat up the roots. Only the compost will, but at that point, hopefully it'll be like 20% compost. So that'll be this bed. Oh, sorry, just to reiterate what these are fighting, it's the heat, so 105, 110 degree temperatures, the dryness when it's not monsoon, which it is now, which is cool. It's 30% humidity, but usually it's like 15, 18%, so it's really dry. Then you have bugs. And then you have wind, hot, dry wind. Under watering, under fertilizing, possibly. And then you have the root zone. So there's a lot of grubs in that bed. Normally grubs eat decomposing matter, but I would imagine sometimes, and what I'm reading is sometimes, and hearing from is sometimes grubs eat your roots too. Which is why maybe, I don't know, especially after mulching, maybe it brought the grubs up higher up in the soil to get the feeder roots, the tender feeder roots. I don't know, but I do notice I've seen, because there's a lot of grubs in that bed, I've seen degradation after I mulched. When it says, especially in our temperatures here, 115 degrees, 110 degrees, mulching is going to cool your roots and do a better job of keeping moisture. So this defied that. Just update, everyone. So these two, just real quick, these two are the trays of collards and broccoli that I saved seeds from my strongest plants last year. So the ones that handled the heat the best, infested by bugs the least, and were the biggest, is what I saved seeds from. So that's these, some peppers. I believe I over fertilized with a lot of my peppers. So this one here is, I brought this one indoors. This was one of the daddle peppers outside that didn't do well, and also this is the Bolivian rainbow that was outside that didn't do well, so I brought it in. Here, everybody, it's August 12th, 6:20 in the morning. Planes flying overhead. But check this out. Tomato hornworm just pooped. They get a little bigger than this, and they eat readily and poop a lot. So if I take you to the plant, there was on the leaves oh, there it was right there. It just fell. So it's all those down there. And then what it did to the plant was it basically ate all the foliage off. Hey everyone, it's August 10th, and just a short update. I saw some leaves that didn't look too good, like this. Just See that? So I hit this up with some blended. I put some eggshells in the oven at 200 degrees for 30 minutes, killed any bacteria, blended them in a blender to a powder form, and then applied to the soil here and a few other plants, but mostly this one. It's about 4 days ago. Imagine the calcium's picked up pretty readily by the plant, being from an eggshell, because I can't remember what form of calcium, but I'm pretty sure it's readily available. Plus it was ground. This black hob, as well as the one that was in the bed that I moved, they get really yellow leaves when I water with the hose for too long without getting actual rainwater. A lot of the peppers in the bed did that. But we've got dumped with about 1.5 inches of rain last night. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 inch last night, and then 1.5 inches 3 nights ago. So 2.5 inches for the last week. So we'll see what happens to this. And one other thing that I'm doing here is instead of like topping, what I'm doing is any of the tallest growth, I'm pulling it down, and then that'll force any of the lower growth nodes to be stimulated to think that they're the top of the tree or the top of the plant, so they'll grow faster. So this top, that top there, this one, that one, this one, these two as well. Banana's doing well as well, so it's doing pretty good. But that's the update for now. Alright, so this is what I harvested today. Aleppo, Bonsai Bahio, the long ones, and then CGN 21500s. So that's the peppers from today. Today's harvest. I harvested this earlier this season. This is like the second or third one. Super hots aren't fruiting. It's too hot here, so hopefully in October for those. Alright everybody, it's June 17th. Just another little update. Aleppo peppers are freaking ridiculous. Look at these peppers in here on this Aleppo plant. They're all down. Everywhere in this thing. Pretty thick. I got one ripening up here. It's also one of the largest ones I'm probably going to save seed from. So there's that. And then this super hot, which I don't really know. Also, since I've been putting mulch down, the leaves have turned yellow. So what I did was I took the mulch off from around the trunk. Let's get a feel for how wide the trunk is. But I took the mulch out to let that soil aerate a little bit. But we got one of the chilies there. We got a couple of them back here too. So there's one right there. And there's another one around here somewhere. Ah, right here. There's another one. So that's the 17th update. I'm probably going to cut the actual main video to show you some of the progress here in another couple weeks. But some of these chilies, the bugs are getting to them. So these are like real, not good. Most of them are still hard though. But there's some kind of bugs eating. These are the Bonsai Bahio here, and this big thing here is the black hob, which doesn't have any fruit. So took a ton of these mini papicas or whatever they're called from Refining Fire off already. Tons of them off. There's still more, some ripening still, but let's see. Bolivian rainbow. You're getting to see more of the coloring now. So there's the red, the yellow, the orange, the purple. Chilies all on one plant. Small leaves. Kind of the same thing as the Bolivian rainbow. I gotta cut a lot of these older peppers off though. And the last one I wanted to show you is, just waiting for these to ripen, that big one. for the CGN, I'm going to take seeds from. Maybe both of them, once I'm sure they're right. So that's it for today. Alright everybody, it's June 6th, and I took all the plants out of the Aero Garden because I'm sprouting other things now. I got some CP115, which I believe is a Douglas Scorpion cross, and I'm doing some other peppers as well. So I wanted to get sand, but I had to go grab some L-angle aluminum from Tempe, or actually Phoenix, South Phoenix, for that 320 watt grow light that I'm building, and I didn't want to go another 10 miles out of the way on top of that to get the sand. So I just used just some potting soil. So this is them. You can see the flowers. These sweet apple peppers have huge flowers. Really, really big. White flowers. I know this is a super hot. I don't know what it is. The super hot in the front yard actually has a fruit on it now. I'll show you soon enough, but we'll give it a taste in another month or so, and by then there'll be more peppers as well. But yeah, so these sweet apple are flowering. The flowers might all fall off because I had to basically rip them out of the Aero Garden. And you look at the leaves on the tops. There's something going on with these leaves. I did recently up the nutrients to 2 teaspoons per gallon of general hydroponics because they're going to flower. I might have went a little bit too much with these peppers, so the fact that I took them out of the Aero Garden might be a good thing if this is actually nutrient burn. It's the only thing I can think of. So, alright, so it's June 3rd, and I got about 3-4 inches of wood chips. It's probably about 80% chips, 90% chips, 10-20% leaves. Just did a heavy water, so it's going to keep a lot more moisture in the soil. I don't know what these little bugs are flying around real fast, but yeah, so this scraggly looking pepper is doing a lot better, at least a little bit better. Glad I let it live, and I am glad that I quadruple fertilized this one. Look how big it is now. That one was severely deficient in a whole bunch of stuff for a while. So sunflower, I saved from seed several years in a row, and you can see why. I've been saving this one from seed. Look at it, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's gonna have flowers all the way down. Oh, this one here is doing a lot better. I think these are Chulahacle Negro topped. So those are doing good. This one not so. These two not so much. So did the same thing over here. See how tall that is. So that's it. That's from that big old pile. I did the backyard too. Let me show you that. Give me a second. Over to the back, you can see the remnants of the pile. That's all that's left. So let me show you the pile, where I put the rest of the wood chips. So this is it, about a foot tall. I'm gonna get rid of these old chicken coops. And I am almost out. I'm gonna have enough chips to chip this here. And once this will probably take up, maybe here, will take up the rest of the chips. That's all not gonna have any chips there. Because I ran out. This is all chipped up. I took out everything in this bed except for just this stuff here in the beginning, just in the front. I watered it heavily this morning, and any drooping of the leaves you see is a result of the sun. It's pretty hot in this section of the garden because of this freaking wall. It shades somewhere midday. It starts to shade. First part of the day, it's pretty covered. And then I did that bed where nothing grew. It will grow, guarantee you. Or else I would have scrapped it by now. But thinking this will be a good winter bed, maybe spring bed next year. But I'm not gonna give up on it yet. So that's what I did with the wood chips. So if you have a pretty big yard and you want to use this, you're probably gonna need 2 loads. So just know you'll probably need 2 loads. It's gonna be a ton of work, man. And make sure you have a wheelbarrow. All right, everyone. So here's a wood chip pile. It's about as high as this, 4 feet or so. You can see how wide it is. Got for free. Signed up for chip drop. Got chip drop the same day. I wasn't prepared for the drop at all. Got it the same day. So this isn't the whole pile. Hold on, my kid is playing with them. Give me a sec. All right, so the chips came about to there. I cleared all this out so far to here. So I got a lot more left to go, but this is free. And check this out. Inside of the chips, you can see the fungal strands already forming. I don't know what kind of fungus that is if it's positive or negative, but I do know that plants need fungus to survive. So take a risk and say that it's good fungus for the plants. Hopefully, obviously not mycorrhizal fungi because it needs roots, sugars from the roots to survive. In exchange, it gives the plants minerals that it mines from the soil. So this isn't mycorrhizal fungi, but some sort of fungi. But anyway, it goes, fungus does break this down and make the nutrients readily available for the plants, or at least a lot more available for the plants than before. So sign up for your drop, man. Get your drop, improve your soil for free. Takes a lot longer, but it's free. I think it's a tomato hornworm. See the size of a little thing. See the size of it. About as fat as a finger. Around yay long. So protect your plants, man, because they're coming. I think this is a tomato hornworm. It looks exactly like one, except the patterns, the striping patterns are little. And they'll bite you too. They're feisty little worms. So little caterpillars. All right, so the 20th around 2 o'clock. Black habaneros looking okay. Other black habaneros looking fine. It's 92 degrees right now. About 2 p.m. So 92 degrees. They say that these like shade, which they could because look how big the leaves are. But at the same time, with a little leaf curl upwards, it's taking the Arizona sun here, so far at least, early in the season. But really the update today is that I didn't catch is my CGN 21.5 chilies. This fat one down here. Yeah, you can see. So the fat one down here is the one I like as far as shape. I don't know how good you can see that, but so there might be more. But that's it. CGNs are coming along a little bit at least. So it's the 19th. Same size plants, just side dressed with more of a flowering granular. So it's heavy magnesium, potassium, heavy calcium, phosphorus, a little nitrogen thrown in. It's a beneficial bacteria, fungus, just, the Job stuff you get from Home Depot or whatnot. I got mine from Ace Hardware just this morning. So derived from feather meal, fishbone meal, stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. So you'll see the results within maybe 3 weeks from now. Hey, it's May 19th. After the neem spray, I'm noticing no birds here. when I come here in the morning right now. So shadow, you can see how early it is. But there's no birds. Wondering if it's those little birds here eating, pecking at the leaves, which is why I never see the remnants of anything ever physically eating. All low, where a bird can just come up and jump. Nothing on the higher leaves, but never any bugs, right? So today, no birds after the neem spray. I'm gonna keep an eye on it.